Hello, I'm Mandira Choudhury. Today I'm talking about characterizing developmental issues. First, contents. Introduction. And what is depression? Where does depression come from? How do people get depressed? And who is affected by depression? How does depression work in the brain? And when does anger play a role in depression? And finally, conclusion. An introduction. First, depression is mood disorder that causes feelings of sadness and loss of interest, and this disorder affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. Depression can also lead to long-term treatment. And then, what is depression? Depression is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel and the way you think and how you act. Fortunately, depression is a disorder that is terrible. Depression causes feelings of sadness and loss of interest in activities that were once enjoyed, and it can lead a variety of emotional and physical problems, and can decrease a person's ability to function at work and at home. And then, where does depression come from? Depression is sometimes this can happen to anyone of any age and people of all races and religions. It is not normal part of life. Depression can come from chemical imbalance in the brain and hormonal changes and medications or thing that are going on life. Most of the times depression is found in women more than it is found in men. Then, why do people get depressed? There are many things that influence whether a person get depressed. Some reasons for depression are things like genes, brain chemistry, and hormones. Other reasons are based on the environment, like the amount of daylight, seasons, and family situations. Depression can also be caused by the person personally, like how the person reacts to life, or sometimes the support system created by the person, and this can help to shape whether or not a person becomes depressed. And then, who is affected by depression? Most of the times, most of the depressed people suffer from some illness, and about 1 of the 10 Americans people suffer from an illness called depression. It affects both physical and mental well-being. And depression sometimes can be caused by the person's life circumstances or occur naturally, and frequently a combination of depression of genetic, psychological, and environmental factors contribute to the cause of depression. And then, how does depression work in the brain? The clinical depression is caused by a chemical in the brain, and sometimes these types of chemical is what most drug treatments are based on their brain. In many cases, there is a reduction in the number of certain neurotransmitters found in depressed people. And then, when does anger play a role in depression? And most of the time, some people's, the study from 2016, they found out that when someone has depression, they often get angry. Anger has negative consequences, including greater symptoms, severity, and worse treatment response. But recently, researchers proved this wrong, and actually the depression anger appears to be an important emotion in the development and maintenance and treatment of depressions. And finally, I'm talking about now the conclusion. So depression is a mental disorder that affects everyone in the world. Unlike other treatments, there are many cures for depression. There are treatments. These are treatments available for people around the world that are suffering from depression. As a country, we have to learn and study more ways of educate ourselves about disorder and the people suffering from this disorder. So thank you for my listening to my presentations.